Hello, beautiful people. So I don't have much time, so I'm gonna try and make this quick. Because I have something in a little bit, but I felt very, very, very guided to share with you something. So yesterday, one of my clients slash students that I've been teaching how to read the Akashic records to had some business questions for me, and one of them was around you know, business, obviously. But she goes, she asked me certain questions, and how do you have it all? Like, you seem to have it all together. You seem to have figured it out. And I said, oh, have I? And she goes, well, you look like you do. And I smiled, and it felt very warm inside. And I responded with messages from Spirit for her direct question to support her. And then I gave her personal advice with what's for me. The biggest one was don't compare yourself to me. And when I was just getting ready, it came in again. And I was like, I need to make a video about this. Noted. And the reason why she felt, and probably many people feel, that I've figured it out and have it all together is because I've learned how to be emotionally regulated. Being emotionally regulated is honoring yourself, and it's being in the flow state. It's understanding when you're not in the flow state. Don't push yourself to try and show up when it doesn't fit well with you at that moment. I've been on this inner journey for, God, I think maybe 4 or 5 years now. I don't even know. But 1 year ago, actually, it'd be this, yeah, I think it was like 22nd I did it, of September, I joined Mastin Kip's 6-month coaching. I invested $10,000 in it, and it taught me how to be emotionally regulated. And it was a blessing. And I teach my clients in my coaching how to learn to be emotionally regulated no matter what shit show is going on around you. And being emotionally regulated literally comes down to honoring and listening to your body. Now, I've done a lot of work on myself, and I don't even want to refer to it as work, but it's a journey, and I refer to it as finally listening to myself, finally not caring about showing up for other people all the time. And what I mean by that is not my clients, not my business, but I mean doing things that don't sit well with me, like going out and doing certain things or saying yes to people that I'm like, I don't want to do that. And it's also looking at the parts of me that have gotten me this far, that are no longer working. And we have always been taught to be in survival mode, fight or flight. That's why there's so much chronic illness and, diagnoses of mental illnesses and everything. And it wasn't until I realized, dude, we are seriously in a mental health crisis, more than just people that are in the hospital as patients. Like, it's the ones that are dying quietly. And I can only say that because I wasn't on the verge of like suicide or anything, but if I kept going down that path, who knows? But I got to a point where like I felt like I was dying inside because the world didn't make sense to me. I had too many questions that no one could answer and just called me crazy. And I realized, you know what? No matter what I do, somebody will not agree with me. Somebody will try and fight me on it. Someone will whatever. And I realized all that matters is how I feel when I'm doing something. And if I'm coming from a state of love, then I'm in that flow state. And if it doesn't work out, like if whatever I'm doing doesn't work, it's because it wasn't meant to work at that time, but my heart was in it. So I don't judge myself. And that's the biggest thing I've learned, is that every single time in the past that I have done something to get by, to survive, there's been some judgment piece in it. And that judgment piece became so loud that I was getting ill from it. So when I really looked at all of those survival parts in me that would run on no sleep, that would treat my body badly, that would um, do multitask a million things at once to get by. Once I sat with each one of those parts and saw like the emotions under them and the driving behavior for those patterns, I mean, the driving emotion that brought in those patterns that then became a behavior, that is where I started to become regulated because I was listening to the parts of me that were pushing me to do things. And I was like, hey guys, this isn't working for us anymore. We're getting sick. Or hey guys, like, we don't need to please everybody. Or hey guys, it's okay if not everyone likes us. The more I talked to myself and the more I became okay with myself in every aspect, moving like wild, speaking whatever I wanted, going to things that, oh, that excites me, but I'm a little nervous. Fuck it. If it excited me and if I was curious about it, I did it because that helped me become regulated. I was taking curious, imperfect actions, and I still do. Every single time I have felt like I have not been good enough or I fucked up, I sit with that. And I say, whoa, 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 why am I judging myself? And I don't make myself do things when my body is saying no. I don't compare myself to what everyone else is doing because when I have in the past, it hasn't worked out. And I know that what I am trying to build, what Maria and I are trying to build, is going to take time. And we are one of the first ones to do what we do. And so we don't really have a role model. We don't have a blueprint. But we do because it's our higher selves. It's source. And so I've learned that the more I surrender to not having to just freaking do something every single day like I had to in nursing school, and I had to as a nurse, the more I surrender to just it is, the more things started to flow and happen. When you surrender, it's hard, but when you surrender, you look like you have it all together because you have found a layer of peace within you. Doesn't mean that I don't have days where I'm crying or I'm like, this world makes no sense, or like, why did I sign up for this? Of course I have those days, I'm human. But do I let them become my day? Absolutely not. If I'm feeling the heaviness of the world, I am going to try and do intuitive movement, breathing, meditate. If that doesn't work, what else do I need? Do I need a rest? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to drink more water? I ask myself. And one of the biggest things I've learned with being emotionally regulated is trust the process. Trust that you are not meant to save everyone, please everybody, and you can't and you won't. But when you learn to surrender to you and your voice and find your own little pleasures, despite if anyone else is in your group enjoying those pleasures too, things start to flow. Every month, I have no idea where my money's coming from. I mean, I sign up for fairs. You know, I have clients that book with me. I have coaching clients that, pay on a payment plan. But I have released the attachment to worrying, to the fear of where is money coming from. I've also, and it comes, I've been paying my bills. Because the more I've learned, the more you resist and the more you push and the more you're like, why? The universe is going to slow you down because you're not trusting. You're not trusting that the path is already woven, and if you're doing the work to look and listen to yourself, the universe is matching that vibration. It's matching that energy. And it's funny because I keep having a visual of, like, I'll say a swan on the water. It looks calm and it's peaceful and it's beautiful, right? But under the water, right? It's swimming. And it has to duck and cleanse. It has to go in, get its food, right? So just because someone looks like they have it all together doesn't mean you compare yourself to them or that they have it all together. I like to think I have it all together. And I know that I do in the spirit sense. I know that when I set up my sacred space and I center, I have it all together because I'm trusting in source. Holy Spirit, activate. I'm trusting in my guides and my sacred space that I set up to center me so I have it all together. My human side, anytime I'm in a state of questioning myself or something else, I sit with that. It festers. And that's when we become dysregulated. We become dysregulated when we compare ourselves to others, when we judge ourselves, when we continue to do routines that don't feel good to us anymore. And I've learned as somebody with like ADD that routine works well for me. Not every day. I can't actually have the same routine every day. That doesn't feel good to me. I like to kind of be crazy and go on a whim. But this 6-week challenge this summer that I did, consistently having to show up for kickboxing 3 times a week. I had to set it in my schedule, and then I had to book my clients around it. I only take clients 3 days a week. As a nurse, I worked 3 to 4 days a week. So I'm still honoring that, so I have days to myself. Some days I'll still pick up clients if, we can't meet on the other days. But I honor days for myself. I don't try and frame my energy into all these compartments. I've learned to focus. Okay, my goal, like today, my goal was go to yoga, hot yoga at 12, and then show up for something at 6, and then teach mediumship to 2 of my coaching clients at 7:30. That was my set schedule. Anything that happened in between was free will. I have content I can make, whatever. But I'm allowing myself to go with the flow rather than having 1,000 things to do in a day, because that doesn't work for me. I have found what works for me, and that has helped me stay regulated, emotionally regulated. When I am not emotionally regulated, that's okay. I sit with that and I see what's going on, and I don't judge myself. I more allow myself and the energy to move through me and out of me. I'll go take a longer shower. I'll lay on the grass. I'll ask my guides to come in and do some healing. I'll listen to some calming music. I will do things that bring me into center so I'm not projecting, and I'm also not taking on anyone else's energy because I'm feeling heavy already. And when we're in a flow state, we have a clarity of our goals. One of my goals, believe it or not, is to continue to trust spirit. Continue to surrender to being every single day. When I am worrying about where the money is coming from, when I'm worrying about the future, when I'm worrying about things that literally could change in an instant, I am out of flow state because I am worried. If I am setting on my calendar, dates for showing up for things, that's just preparation. That's not worry. That's still being present in the moment, planning, right? But not putting worry into it. When you're in the flow state, you also have an altered perception of time. That's why a routine is good for me, knowing that, okay, I kickboxing at 7. I have clients this, and this time. Because the rest of the day, guys, I have no idea what time or day it is because I am just being. I'm just being, and I love it. And it's effortless. But I also have a feeling of control because I have something set. And if you don't, let's say you are an entrepreneur and you don't have any clients yet, that's okay. Take the time, set certain times a week where your 3 hours is planning, is making content, is reading, is doing inner work. Because the more you align with yourself, the more people that align with your energy will come to you. And the more opportunities will come. The other thing with the flow state is the balance of skills. I like to challenge myself. And challenging myself is, for instance, the Akashic class that I'm teaching. And I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to make it something that people can sign up for. I'm challenging myself. I don't know what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm doing because I've done it before. My higher self, this opportunity wouldn't have come to me if it wasn't meant to come to me. So I took a courageous, imperfect action and channeled spirit and started making a course. So I was challenging myself and it was fun, and time is an illusion, right? And it's the melting together of that action and consciousness. Consciousness is being aware of where you are and how you feel. and not letting that feeling override you, but being an observer to it and be like, why did I just talk shit about that person walking across the street? Like, that's not love. And then I check in with that, and then I forgive myself, and that's that. Like, I don't fester, and I don't dwell on the shoulds, the past. I use the past to support me in moving forward and to being present. Yeah. So I felt like somebody needed to hear that. I felt like I also probably needed to hear that, because it was really good to hear that I look like I have it all together. I don't think that any of us have it all together when we're in a state of surrender, when we're in a state of just trusting the universe, and we're in a state of flow. I feel like our higher selves pull us into that vibration of, you got it all together, because you know what? We do. It's just a matter of trusting that we do, and what does that feel like to us? So I also told her, whenever you're doing something, what is the driving emotion behind that action? Is it love? Is it judgment? Is it fear? Is it love? Is it surrender and love? Is it judgment? Gotta do this. Gotta show up. Gotta please. I gotta be the best at everything. I gotta be perfect. Why? Why? Love yourself first, and then the rest just happens. And the biggest thing I've learned by doing the work and listening to myself is trusting that it's working. Trusting in myself and in my flow. And every time I listen to me, I feel at peace. And my feet underwater are just like, hey. And then when I'm ready to fly, I fly. When I'm ready to eat and cleanse, I'm ready. Because I am not resisting change. That's a big one. I am not resisting change. I'm surrendering to it. And anything I don't feel good means it's either not the time or I'm not supposed to do it, right? So never compare yourself to anyone else, but use other people as like a tool, as a guide, like, and be curious. Like, what do they do? How do they do that? Because that's what I've done. I've researched people, I've looked them up, and if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. I've read a lot of books. Half the books I don't finish. I open up a page, I read, and I close it. People I was going to invest in, I was like, why do I want to learn more when I know that not everything they're teaching aligns with me, right? I am trusting the right people will come to me at the right time when it's aligned with me. And the more I listen to me and my higher self, that'll be brought to me, because I am surrendering to trust. And that is emotional regulation. Surrendering and allowing yourself to feel joy without judgment. Have a beautiful, beautiful night, morning, day, evening, dimensional shift, wherever you are. I love you.